What's up, guys? Just doing a little update on the new to me trailer. First video, I spoke about how it sat too high, and you can see at my last outing that it is too high because I use a jack stand and a ramp to get the bike in the back. As I stated, it was a old snowmobile trailer. So somebody had changed the axles. They took drop axles off, put regular axles on it. So I need to lower it so I can get things loaded on it a little better. I will put drop axles in it, but first step was these here are the spring hangers, and these are the original bolt holes here, and one right down in there. I just have that set up like that so it can hold the calipers. So the first thing I did was, and the cheapest thing is to just drill these, and I was able to come up with, as you see on the caliper there, 2-inch basically center to center drop. And how I came up with that is these mount up on the frame through those holes. So I put a bolt up in there, I measured the head of the bolt, and then I went over to the spring and I measured where the bolt goes through the eyelid on the spring, the thickness that's needed there, so I would have clearance to figure out how far up I could move this hole and still have, you know, any movement that was needed in the spring, and that the spring wasn't into the heads of those bolts there. And basically I just come up with 2-inch is from center to center is what I was able to do there. The bolts, 1/2-inch bolts, so take a quarter off of that too, and I was able to basically come up with what I needed. From that edge to center was 1.75, and then just kept it in the center. This is a 3-inch shackle, so 1.5 inches was the center, and ironically I just used a square like this, which was 1.5 inches wide. I could line it up right across that straight edge like that. It's not quite straight, but I could get it right across that straight edge, and then it ran right through the center, so I was able to strike a line up and measure my 1 3/4 up to get my center on there. Now we use a drill press. I had my daughter in here helping me. I'll put some video in there of that and a few other pictures and stuff, but that's the first start, is doing these shackles. Next I will go and do the axles. The axles are going to be about $500 to do the axles. And this is no surprise. I mean, I bought the trailer knowing I would have to do this. I got a really good deal on the trailer. That's why I went with it. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. I was fully prepared going into it. I did one side already. Did this side here. These shackles have been re-drilled and moved up. As you can see, I didn't trim the bottom of those off yet because I want to set it on the ground and actually get it riding on the road and make sure I don't have any issues where I have to put them back to where they were. In between the spring and the frame, recommended by the trailer people, you need to have about 2 inches between the spring and the frame for travel. That's what I have. Go underneath here, show you. There it is, moved up. I have clearance between that bolt and the head of the spring. The spring actually rides in between the two bolt holes, but there is actually, it's tough to see because it's all dark, but there is clearance there. Clearance between the frame rail and the axle, about 2 inches is what was recommended. I think I got about 2 1/4 there. As you can see here, that's the original hole. That's what we moved it up, and that's at that's 2 inches there. And you can actually still see like my center line mark right there. So that's 2 inches there. Still working on that side. That's all apart. I couldn't get that wheel off because the way I have the trailer parked there, but those brackets that I just showed you inside, those are the ones for that side. They're drilled, they're ready to go back on. I'm going to work on that here this morning, and I'll insert some other pictures there for you and show, but that's a start. That's the update for the trailer. We're going to get this done this Saturday morning, and well, I hope you guys all have a happy Saturday. And here's my 12-year-old daughter here, just kind of inserting some pictures. She's giving me a hand drilling these, kind of teaching her to learn, teaching her how to use the drill press, teaching her how to use tools and stuff. She actually expresses some interest in wanting to get into the welding field as she goes through school. So I thought this was pretty cool for us to have a dad-daughter day in the shop. A little slower on that when you're coming down. Alright guys, about an hour and a half later, I put this side all together. As you can see, wheels are all on, it's bolted in. Got plenty of ground clearance, or plenty of tire clearance in the fender wells. Coming and measuring, seeing how we're at. Now, I was using my base measurements. I was leveling the trailer, and I was measuring off these frame rails here. So before they were 17 inches when it was all leveled, like it was gonna go down the road. And now it is 14 3/4 inches, so it lowered it about 2 1/4 inches. It's a good start. We still have a lot to go. I said I'll put the gotta see, they make 4-inch drop axles is the common place for the trailers, and then they also, I was told I can custom order a 6-inch drop as well. So I'll have to check in. I know the 4-inch drop was going to be roughly $500 with tax, so I'll have to see what the 6-inch drop would be at this point. The next step would be to put axles in it. I can't make the axle any closer. I mean, it's pretty tight the way it is, sitting flat on the ground with all the weight on it and everything. There's about 2 inches of clearance between the axle and the frame. So that's what we'll do next, is we'll check into the pricing of some axles, and that'll be the next step.
I also just want to make note that the trailer is fully loaded as I go down the track. The bike's in there, all my tools, toolbox, fuel, everything that I take with me to the track is in there as I took my measurements.
When I do the axles, I'll give you another update.